These chords. Check this out. So one of my favorite sounds is this kind of jazzy, lush sound that is associated with lo-fi and neo soul. And when I thought about neo soul and playing that on guitar, I used to be kind of scared and not really clear about what's happening with all these embellishments and how can I find them. And the truth is, it's kind of simple. So first, let me show you all the shapes. I'm just using 3 shapes. I'm coming closer a little bit here. All right, so check this out. So the first shape is just good old G major 7. This shape that you probably know. I'm doing a little, you can do a little kind of slide, but you can also decide to do a hammer on. In any case, the first shape is G major 7. The second shape is F major 7. F major 7 9. So this is F, the 8th fret, and then barring this here, and then back to G, first inversion, G9. So this is over B here. So again, it's important for me to see the structure, right? To see the chord progression and understand it. So one of the ways for me to kind of get there is understanding what I'm doing. So G major 7, F major 7, and G. But you know, understanding is not always the only thing. It's also feeling it and hearing it. So understanding theoretically and saying, okay, it's G, okay, F and G, but let's actually hear it. So sol, fa, sol. Okay, cool. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Now the colors. What about the colors? How does it sound and how does it feel? And I'm kind of saying the word feel because it's very important for me in the process of learning something to understand and feel it. And again, music for me is this idea of colors and sounds. When I hear chords, when I hear tensions or these beautiful lush sounds, instead of just saying, oh, this is a complicated chord, I'm trying to slowly but surely tag the information. So G major 7, beautiful. F major 7 9, very cool, not too crazy. And then G major 7 or G9, first inversion. You can add the major 7 if you're doing a whole kind of bar. Now, if I'm just playing it just as is, it sounds okay, but there are a few things missing here. So first thing is kind of playing things in time. I'm gonna come closer and you can hear it again. So check this out. Boom, focus, yes. It's this here, okay. I just released the 26-week guitar transformation with Rotem, which is me. So please check the link in bio or here, and I'll really hope to see you there. Simple. 3, 4. Boom, 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 boom. Right, so although I'm playing something simple rhythmically, being in time makes everything feel cool or feel good, right? So I'm using, you can use your hand to kind of do the sort of like snare drum hit, right? The rim shot, if you will. So it's like 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3. 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. Again, I'll come closer so you see it here. Here. Okay, you see it. What I just did now is playing this shape, the G major 7, but I played it with an open E. Why did I do that? Well, again, a lot of times it's very helpful to understand what we're doing so we can hear it and then we can adjust it. Because a lot of times, or at least when I started playing guitar, I couldn't really see how things are going from, you know, this G, F, G into these kind of fancy shapes and what is the bridge between those 2 points, and that seems like just insane for me. Please click the like button and subscribe. Thank you. So it's not insane, and the bridge is understanding in a truthful and honest way as much as possible, and it's a process of trying to do it. Close parenthesis. So why did I add this E? The E is the 6 in relationship to the G. Why am I saying 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's the 6th note, so Sol, La, Si, Do, Re, Mi, Sol. And again, you see what I'm doing? I'm kind of saying things out loud. I'm singing the bass so I hear it. Because sometimes when we just make a sound, you know, like this, Sol, or just da, you can start tagging da. Okay, this is how this note feels, and this is exactly what I did there. So, and maybe here, that sound, come closer again. If you see this, it's the same idea of the 5, the D to the E. So I'm playing on that idea of the 5 to the 6 here as well. And of course, you can do, if you want to get the full benefit of this lesson, there is a note-to-note transcription with tabs and notation all on Patreon. Check it out, it's yours. And of course, you can do as many variations as you want. Just slowly. And this is the note A here, which is the 9. So I'm going from the 3 to the 9, the 6 to the 5. So and this E here on top. Now, it's kind of nice to have open strings on a guitar just because they vibrate in a really beautiful way. And also, the reason that I guess I kind of was feeling this note E, the 6, because I have this note D here, which is the 5, and when I'm playing this D and this E, there is a major second, which is a clashing sound, you know, kind of clashy, but actually it has a lot of beauty. Ooh, especially if I'm kind of imagining the note G. So let's hear this progression from that point of view. Sol, Fa, Sol, Sol, Fa, Sol. Oof, really, really cool. Okay, and there is another thing that I did at the end. I think I did like, I added like a little pentatonic thing. So I'm feeling and hearing this progression in a certain key. And again, this is where theory, quote unquote, I'm saying quote unquote because it's not really theory, it's very practical. To know where you are and to hear things is important because we're talking about music. So I'm hearing this progression sort of in the key of G. So harmonically, when I'm playing this progression, I'm kind of imagining the G major pentatonic. So these are the sounds. And what I was doing is basically just grabbing double stops or diads, if you will. Now, G major pentatonic and E minor pentatonic are the same notes, just the point of reference is different. So if you're very comfortable with E minor pentatonic, you can use the fingerings, but know that the center here is G. So again, check this out. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be just double stops here, right? Take this version of what I just played now. Right, I played a little bass line. Now, the reason is because I can see and hear this E minor or again G major pentatonic, and I'm kind of grabbing notes around it to fit, and I have this little space between the chords, right? Pause. Oh, maybe I'll hear this better, so I'll do it again. And like you see, I was kind of imagining something and I messed it up, and it's totally fine. Like, it's a part of the trick. It's never going to be everything you imagine and everything you play is going to be right on the money the first time. It's a process like everything. So being aware of the process, being aware of the sounds, and being aware of the tagging processing. I'm saying tagging because you want to listen and feel the notes. Even if it means that, you know, working on these couple of chords takes a little extra time, it's totally fine and it's totally worth it, because if you're doing that, you'll actually learn more guitar faster. Question: do you know any kid songs? I have no idea about kid songs, especially in English. Please drop a comment and I'll learn some kid songs for the kids. Thank you. Going back to what we talked about, so we have this G, F, and G again. Now I want to use a certain reharm technique, and this is kind of going backwards. So instead of playing G, I'm going to play E minor. Instead of playing F, I'm going to play D minor. Why I'm saying backwards is because, for example, if I have the chord E minor, just E minor, I can substitute that chord for G major 7 and get an extension, get the 9. So here I'm kind of thinking about it from the other side. In that sense, check this out. I have in my mind E minor and I'm playing G major 7. I have D minor when I'm playing F major 7, and then I have again E minor and I'm playing G. So what I'm getting basically is this progression of E minor, D minor, and E minor, sorry. So I can play that and get like an extra sound using this. Gives it a little bit of different sound, because now mi, re, mi, re, mi. So I added the 9 here, so I'm coming closer again so you can see the shape in a very clear way. So this is E minor shell chord with a 9, it's a D minor shell chord with a 9. And then I went back to my shape. But the difference here was that I'm hearing and feeling the E minor, D minor, and again E minor. So, and I guess I did this shape, the E minor 7, 9, and I added this note here, which is the 11. So just for melodic purposes, right? So I just want to get more melody from my shapes. Of course, like when I have this time here, when I'm ending with this E minor chord, I can use the E minor pentatonic licks or ideas. All these things would sound really cool, especially if they're being done in time. Again, for simple example, nothing complicated. And here again, these ideas, I'm really looking at the E minor or again G major pentatonic here. I'm seeing those notes here, the double stops. And I'm just grabbing really slow and what happens if I want to extend the progression a little bit? So I'm going to take this G9, major 7, 9, to this C, first inversion, F, to B flat, and then I'm going to play A flat, B flat, and C. So I'm using only 2 shapes here, this 9 and this major 7 first inversion. So two things that I did. First, I'll come closer so you can see here. Ta-dam, ta-dam, yes. So the first thing, I'm using this G major 7 shape to the first inversion, F major 7, B flat, and then I'm just going basically A flat, B flat, and then C. So you can embellish around C. Really need to pick actually. So that's the first thing. And then the second time I used the other chord that we had before. And then I just kind of played some of the overtones. I guess you can get cool overtones if you hit the guitar on the 7th fret, on the 12th. So I mean, you can get overtones in a lot of places, but these are pretty heard. And of course, I know these open string, you know, so I kind of know what I'm gonna get. So I know it's gonna sound around what I'm imagining. Again, our progression. You don't have to go there if you don't want to. Sometimes it's aggressive. What is important for me to understand and to think about all this process is using little shapes, little in the sense of not a lot of shapes, and using them in a way that is musical, right? Using them in a way that it makes sense for our creation, and using them until we actually hear it, until we actually feel it, and trying to create something, trying to create in time, trying to ask yourself, oh, this is G first inversion. Ah, what is this note? Oh, this is E, this is how it sounds. I know I'm saying it, you know, sometimes again and again, but really, if you approach music in that way, if you approach guitar, it will really save you a lot of time. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys very soon. Peace out.